folks, welcome back to my channel. I'm just going to go through some of the papers that I've made this morning on my jelly plate as part of the FebruGelli series that Betsy Doodle is doing. I'll leave a link to her playlist, a playlist of her videos in my description box. So this morning I decided to use distress inks and distress oxides rather than acrylic paint, just for something different. I thought maybe I would get a more subtle print, because remember I'm trying to do mine for my Twinchy journal. I don't want my jelly prints to be too bright and jazzy. Much as I love bright and jazzy ones, don't get me wrong, this is very hard for me to not do that. But I think when I've got enough papers for that, I think then I'll break away and get some colour. But for now, let me show you what I've done. So I think on this one I used distress oxide in antique linen and frayed burlap. Just sprayed it on, and then I've got a stencil. I can't show you because I've just washed it and left it by the sink to drain, but it's just a stencil, as you can see, this sort of shape. Put that on, and I think this is the one actually that I just pulled off with the stencil. So I've done the background on the plate, put the stencil on, stuck that on, that's what came off. So that was that on, and then I'm guessing that there was something left behind, but I don't know where that one is, or maybe it didn't come off very well. It could have been this one here, very grungy. I won't be using that for anything, or not anything. It might go in some kind of vintage thing or to use for collage, but I don't like that one. So I did something similar. I don't know whether or not you can see. This is antique linen on the background. I put my stencil on top, and then I use my ink pads. I think that is sponge sugar oxide, and this one is the lemonade, whatever it is, some yellow thing, oxide. And I just did that over the stencil into it, and then pulled the print, took the stencil off, pulled the print. So that I quite like that one. And I was just experimenting because I didn't really know how it would work. This one has got a yellow background, and then I think I spritzed it with water, so you can see there's some white on here. I then laid a stencil. Now this is the stencil that I laid on, and I got my abandoned coral oxide pad, and I went over the stencil was there, I went over that, and then obviously my stencil was full of ink, so I turned it over, and that's what's made all of these. And I actually prefer that reverse bit of the stencil than what I'd use the stencil for. This is some script from a script stencil, but it didn't come out very well, and I think because it's quite fine and it's really hard for the paper to get into the sort of script space. Possibly could have done better with an ink blending tool. I didn't think about that till after I'd tidied away, but I quite like that one. Right, this one was using some tumbled glass and cracked pistachio, but there was some orange left on the plate when I did it, but it doesn't really, or on my brayer. Either way, I think it might have been on the brayer actually, not 100% sure, but I just went over the plate, spritzed it with water, took a print, and I'm liking I've done a lot of these because I just liked the subtle effect. This one was another one where I did that with the background, so that's the green and the tumbled pistachios, tumbled glass and cracked pistachio, spritzed it, and then I got my stencil, and on the side I just brayered over, or no, I just used the ink pad over the stencil and used it as a stamp on there. Didn't press it down enough on that bit, but again, that's quite pleasant, well, to me anyway. Back to this one. It looks to me like I've used yellow on the plate. Yeah, I think it's the squeezed lemonade. And then I've put my stencil on and gone over it with spice marmalade distress ink, and then taken it off, spritzed it with water, taken a print. So it looks a bit like a giraffe, that one. And then these ones are very simple. I have just put a row of, looks like spice marmalade, mustard seed, picked raspberry and a shabby shutters, no, whatever the blue one is, broken china on there. And then I've used my brayer, and you can see I did clean my brayer, but I think it still picked up some yellow between those two layers, but it doesn't really matter. But I like how you've got the kind of an ombre effect, but you've also got bits where the plate, you know, little white sort of marks and that. I really like that one. So I had another go, same sort of thing. This I did spice marmalade, mustard seed, shabby shutters, but you can't really see a lot of that. But my shabby shutters is quite dry, probably needs re-inking. And then the broken china on there, spritzed it with water. Just nice effects, I think. I appreciate not everybody might feel the same. This one was spun sugar oxide on the bottom, a little bit of picked raspberry. Actually, I put it on the brayer and then brayered it all over, spritzed it with water. Thought that was quite pretty. I hope these are in focus actually. I suddenly realised I haven't pressed the focus button. So apologies if you just had a blur up to now. Similar sort of thing. Can't remember what I used, but it looks like mustard seed and marmalade, whatever it is, spice marmalade with a spritz. And then this one was cracked pistachio with a little mowed lawn, and then I put my stencil on and used mowed lawn over the stencil in places. I took the stencil off, spritzed it with water, and then took a print from that, and I really like that one, not just because it's green, but I just like everything that's going on. And then on the side of me, I just got a little sheet that I was using to clean my brayer every now and again, because then I started using a piece of kitchen towel to clean the brayer because it was easier to get the ink off. But I've made that, and I actually really like that. The randomness of that and the colours, I think that's really nice. So I shall be using that as well for something. And I've made a nice green baby wipe, which I will let dry and use for something else. So that's just sitting over there. And a horrible grungy piece of kitchen towel, which I probably won't use, although actually that doesn't look too bad. Autumnal colours and all that. But I can't keep everything. I probably won't keep that. Anyway, that's what I've been doing this morning. If you're interested in looking at jelly printing and different things, I would strongly recommend you pop across to Betsy Doodle's channel, where she is doing her series every day, different things on her jelly plate. Okay folks, so that's it for me today. Hopefully we'll be back tomorrow. I've actually had a package in the post, so I will be back later with an unboxing, an unpackaging, I don't know what you say. Okay, have a good morning, speak to you again soon, bye for now.